Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me at this time in this tutorial. So we guys were developing this Flappy Bird game, and we are almost done with creating this game. And let me just show you what all things are we done with coding. So I'm running this code which I have put here on the Sublime text, and that's what it is giving us as that's what it is giving me as an output right now. So I'm able to see the pipes. I'm able to see this Flappy Bird, right? I'm able to move it also. I'm able to control its movement, and the point at which it hits the that those pipes which gets visible on the screen, or which comes on the display window after couple of seconds. So when the bird touches any of those pipes, so the game gets over, and that's the screen which we get redirected to. Now if I want to restart the game, I can simply hit the space bar key, and the game, I'm able to restart it. Right. Now, if while moving the bird, if the bird touches this floor or it moves completely out of the window, at that point also the game will get over. Right. Now, the only thing that we are left with is we are not able to see the score getting reflected on this game window. So what we will do, let's remove this floor from here, and somewhere in the bottom, let's define a code with the help of which we can get to see the score also on this display screen. So let's first close this window in order to remove the floor, that moving floor which is visible to us right now on our game window. What we can do, we can simply change the uh, coordinates here. So I'm putting 1200 here, and I'm putting 1900 here. Now if I will run the game, so what will happen, I will not be able to see the I'll not be able to see that floor anymore. Right. Now the only thing which is visible to us over here on this display window when the game is getting over is this Flappy Bird, get ready, and this beautiful image. Now what we are going to do, we are going to define a code here on Sublime Text so as to calculate this score, right? And what I will do, I will define a code in such a way that I can get to see the score right in the bottom of this display window. Right, so let's do that quickly. I'm closing this window, and let me come down, and the way we have different functions for different things, in the same way I would be defining a different function for calculating the score. So calculating the score and displaying it. So let's have a function with name score underscore display, right? And let's pass the game state as a parameter to this function. So it's a parameterized function. Now, if the game state, we need to check the state of the game. If it is equal to the main game, right? If at any point of time it becomes equal to the main game, then what should happen? The score underscore surface, sorry, the score underscore surface. So it's another variable I have used here, game underscore font. So I would like to use this. Sorry, yeah, perfectly fine. Game underscore font render, and then let's convert this score into an string first, right? So that's how we can convert a score, an integer value, into a string value using this explicit conversion, sorry, method. And then we can this render uh, function accepts three parameters. So what is the second parameter? It's a boolean value which we need to pass here. So I can put a comma, that's a separator, and let's mention true here. And the last thing I need to mention is the RGB values, right? the color in which I would like to see the score getting reflected. So I would like to see it in white color. So that's the whole code, which is so that's the render function which I've used for getting the score on the window. So that's the one which is going to help us in getting the score reflected on the game window. Now let's define a rectangle. So the way we have defined rectangle for the bird, for the different pies which are appearing on the game, right? In the same way, we will have a rectangle for this score part also. So we can simply pass this score dot surface. Okay, I have got disconnected. Why is it so? Let me just check whether everything is working fine or not. Just hold on for a moment, everyone. I'm checking here something. So everything is fine, but I still would like to confirm whether I'm still live or not on YouTube. That is very important. Really sorry. Kindly bear with me for one or two more seconds. Yeah, I am live on YouTube right now. Okay, so uh, we'll define a different rectangle. So that's the variable I have used here for creating a rectangle for the score part. And let's make use of this get a rect function. So that's the one which is going to help us in creating a rectangle. Let's define the coordinates where I would like to see the rectangle. So that's the point at which I would like to see the rectangle. Now it's time for us to bring the score on the surface. Now how we'll do it, how we will bring the code, how we will bring the score part on the screen. So it's very simple. You know the concept very well. And if you haven't attended my previous lectures, then I would like to request you to please go and check my previous tutorials. Uh, I have got disconnected, I think. I'll have to check again whether I am live or not. Just give me a short moment. Okay, no problem. So, you know what? We can make use of this screen.blit function in order to what we call it, in order to get the score reflected on the uh, game window. So we can simply pass this score.surface comma score underscore rect as parameters to this function, and that's the way we can get this score part reflected on our game window, right? So if the game state will is equals to main game, so all these things will get executed. Now let's see if the game state is equal to game over, then what should happen, right? So let's define the code for this condition now. So if the game state is equal to game over, then I would like my game the score surface to become equal to. So what I can do, I can use this render function again. Let me just do one thing. Let me copy these three lines of code, and I would like to simply put it over here, put them over here. And here we have used this render function. So besides this, I would like to, let's use this f, okay, and score. Fine, and simply we can put a colon, and then this score is getting converted. So I would like to see this score as well as the number, the what is the present score. So this variable will give us the present score, right? The score of the user which he has scored while playing the game. So we can simply put this whole thing inside the curly brackets like this. And let's remove this bracket from here, and then we can, yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. And then we can have this we have this boolean value, and we have this RGB values for the color. That's the color in which the score is going to get reflected on the game window. Then after this, we have this score.rect. This is perfectly fine. Score underscore surface. So it is going to show us the score at this point. And then we have this screen.split, which is going to help us in bringing the score on the display window. So we'll be able to see the score now, and high score. Let's define a variable here with name high score surface. And you know what I will do? Let's copy this whole code. And I would like to again use this code for checking the highest score. So score underscore surface. And I think rest everything is going to remain the same here. I'll have to change it to high score. Fine. And then I can change this one too, because I have used a variable named high score also in my coding. Okay, which is going to tell us the highest score, and then the comparison will be made in the score which the user will score while playing the game, and the highest score of the game. So score underscore rect, here we can replace it with high underscore score underscore rect. So we are defining a rectangle here, right? So same concept I am using again for reflecting the highest score also on my screen. And here we can change it to high underscore score, and that's what we can change to high underscore score underscore rate. Right. So we are done with defining the function which will help us now in getting the score reflected on the game window. It's time for us to define a separate function with which we can update the score value. So let's have this function with name update underscore score, and let's pass these two things as a parameter to this function. So score and high score. So these are the values which will get affected, if the user is a good player of the game. If the value of score is greater than high score, then what should happen? The high score value of high score should become equal to score, right? It should become equal to score. And I would like this if this function to return finally the value of high score to us. Okay, so this is, I think, perfectly fine. Now, if I will run this game to see the output, see, I'm still not able to see the score getting reflected over here. Now, you know why is it so? Because I haven't called these functions yet inside this main loop. Where is the main loop? That's the main loop, this while loop over here. So it's time for us to call this main loop. Now, call these two functions inside the main loop. But what I am doing first, I'm cutting the code from here, and I'm putting it just above this while control state, while loop. Fine. Okay. Now, where shall we call these two functions? Now, that's what we have to see. So we can come down here, and we have defined a code for controlling the movement of the floor. So that's the one. So in this if control statement, just before this, for in this if control statement where we are checking the game active with this condition. So inside this, we can we can call the that score display function. Now how we will do that? So we need to first uh, define a code with the help of which we can get the value of this score variable incremented by this amount every time a new frame gets created, right? And then we can simply put this, simply call this score underscore display function, and let's pass this main game as a parameter to this function. Fine. Okay. Now in this else part, we can put the code with the help of which we can call the other function, right? That is update score. So we can first make use of this high score, and then we can call this update score function, and let's pass this score and this high score as parameters to this update score function. Now it's time for us to call the score display, right? And let's put game over here inside the let's put this here inside this double inverted commas. So this is what I am passing as a parameter to this score display. So that's what we will get to see as a final output, right? When the game will get over, this is what we will get to see. Now let me just run the game and see whether I will be able to see the code getting reflected on the game window or not when the game will get over. The game will get over when the bird will not be visible to us on the screen, or it will, you know, it will go out of the screen, or it will leave the screen, or else if the bird collides with any of the pipes, right, while the game is in running mode. So at that point also the game will get over instantly. Let's see whether we'll be able to see the score or not. The score is still not visible to us. Now, why is it so? That's what we'll have to check. Okay. No, we are still not able to see the code. Now, why is it so? Let me again check the whole code. No problem. So here we are incrementing the value of this score named variable. And here, okay, it should be main underscore game. Right, and here it should be game underscore over. Let's see whether now also it's not visible to us. No, the score is not visible to us. Now, why is it so? Uh, we have done everything. We have defined everything correctly. Why the game that score is not visible to us? Now that's what we have to check here. High score, update score. So this will update the score, and these two will be passed as a parameter to this function. Game over. Okay, let's come up over here. Have we defined both the functions correctly or not? Everything is correct over here or not? Now that's what I need to check. So if game state is equal to main game. So this is perfectly fine, main game, and if it is equal to game over, then this should happen. Okay, if it is equal to main game, then score underscore surface should be game underscore font dot render str int score true, and that's the color in which the score will get reflected. Score underscore rect, a rectangle will be formed, a rectangle will be created. Now that's the rectangle which will bring for us the score on the game window. Fine, and let me just try to let me just change the coordinates to 500. Maybe it will make some difference. 508, and let me change this also to 508. Let's now run the code and see what's gonna happen. Still, it's not visible to us. Why is it so? 508 is there now. Okay. So if game state is equal to game over, then score or surface is equal to game font. Uh, Fine. This code over here is perfectly fine. Yeah. So that's a set value which I have passed to this score over here. Int So this is going to convert everything into the integer form and it will return us an integer value. True, and then the color in which this high score will get reflected. It's the okay, let me just change the coordinates back to 8800 to 8800 to 8800. Fine. And so why the things are not getting visible, why the score is not visible to us now? That's what we'll have to check. Update score, we are calling score and high score here, and then we are checking if the score is greater than high score. And at this point, what should happen? High score, the value of this should become equal to this, and finally the function should return to us the value of high score. So this is also perfectly fine. Now why are we not able to see the score getting reflected? Now that's what we'll have to check. Let me do one thing. Let me just copy. See if I will run this game. Am I able to see the score? Okay, here the score is visible to us, right? Let me do one thing. Let me just copy these two functions codes from here. See, the code is same, but if the code is same, then why are we not able to get the output from the code we have defined here for getting the score reflected on our game window? Let me now run this code and see what's gonna happen. Okay, now I'm able to see this code. Maybe I have missed a line of code. That's the reason earlier it was not visible to us, right? So the code is almost the same. See, it's almost the same, the one which I defined earlier. It's almost the same. Maybe there was a line of code which I missed, because of which the score was not getting reflected earlier on the game window. And now when I'm running this game, I'm if this the point when the bird will leave the window or it will collide with any of the pipes, so what will happen? This screen will come and we'll be able to see the high score getting reflected here. So it is 3 at present. Let me play the game again and see if I can score more than 3. So the moment the score will become more than 3, the highest score is going to get reflected on the screen. Right now it is still 3. Let's concentrate and try to play the game efficiently so that we can get okay, now it is 4, right? So you know what is happening? This every time I'm playing this game, if this score is greater than 4 or is greater than highest score, then it will get reflected. Otherwise we'll be able to see only the high score, right? Highest score. Let me just show it to you once again. So here I go. So right now my score is, I don't know what my score is, but the highest score is 4. Now if I will score something greater than 4, then this high score value will get updated and we'll be able to see the updated result getting reflected on this window over here. Otherwise it will be 4 only, which we will be able to see throughout the game. Let's see if we can score more than 4. So I'm enjoying this game a lot because I have created it on my own. So that's one reason why I am really enjoying this game. You can also try it out. Fine, just create the game. I have shared everything with you guys, and I hope you have understood the concept also of everything, whatever I have used, whatever I have coded, so as to get this game look like the way it is looking at present. Okay, so that's the game. I hope you really liked this video. So that was the last part in which I told you how can you, with the help of these simple codes, get this score also reflected on the display window. So let me just show you the entire code now, which I have used for creating this beautiful and amazing uh, Flappy Bird game. So that's where the code starts from, is starting from, and these are all the functions I have used. Then that's the code which I have used for getting the sound files, accessing the sound files on my game window, right? So you can use this code, and in the next lecture you can tell me your issues if you come across any while coding this game. Fine, so this is it from my side in this lecture. I hope you guys enjoyed this lecture a lot. Thank you very much for being there with me in this tutorial. Have a great day ahead. Bye bye everyone, and take care. I'll see you in the next lecture now.